Hi folks, well it's gardening time again. I'm running late again this year because it was so wet this spring with my heavy clay soil here. It was just too muddy before now. I have just about completed everything in the garden though by now, but I just wanted to show you a little trick that I've come across to try to make it easier to plant row crops. I've just got one row here of wax beans to put in, and then the row crops are all done, but I wanted to show you this. Typically when I'm doing my row crops, I'm tilling, of course, the furrow, or tilling the soil, and then I've got to make a furrow to put them in, or I'll just would take my rake and do it that way, pull it back from the center of where I want to plant them. But it went a little bit faster when I would use this seeder, except that with my heavy soil I can't use this to plant because the wheels don't turn uniformly on the soil. It's just too uneven, too stiff, and what was happening is either I'd be dropping 3 or 4 seeds in one spot, or I'd skip like a foot and a half because the wheels wouldn't turn right. But I have been able to use the mini plow blade, if you want to call it that, on the bottom there to cut a deep enough furrow for most of my seed planting. I've done this now with sweet corn, green beans, and now I'm doing this with this last row of wax bean. I've already planted 8 rows of sweet corn, and I planted the 2 rows of green beans here along the trellises front and back. So I just have these wax beans. They're bush beans. They don't grow on the, they're not pole beans, so they're going right in here. To make things a little bit quicker, well then after I would make my furrow, then I just go along by hand and drop the seeds in. And of course when you do it that way, you're bending over if you want to get anywhere close to where you want to put them in the soil. If you stand up to do it and you just try to drop them, they may bounce everywhere and you won't have a good row. But as I've gotten older, I don't want to spend all that time bending over. That's one of the reasons why I started trellising the green beans, so that when I'm picking, I don't need to spend 2-3 hours bent over trying to pick them up, or to pick them off their plants. So that was a bit of a problem, and I certainly don't have the kind of money to buy, let's say, a 2-row corn planter, which of course could be used for other things. Even the old antique ones are like $1,000, and there's no way I'm going to afford that. Oh, sorry, we have some neighbors riding motorcycles here. But I came across this idea. Somebody had a YouTube video, and that is to use a piece of PVC pipe. This is just a 3/4 inch piece, which is fine, and then just put the pipe in a row, and then drop a seed down the pipe, and then just keep working your way along the row. That way you can get the proper spacing, because you can guesstimate that, and it's going to go exactly where you want it to go, and then it's easier to just come back through after with the garden rake or the hoe and just cover it over. Well, I made a modification to what I saw this guy using, because I wanted it to be easier to handle the seeds. When I first started this, I just had the piece of pipe, and I was reaching into the seed bag one at a time to pull them out, but that was really going slow. So what I did was I found this old measuring cup in the house, and then just electrical taped it to the end here, so I put my seeds in there to hold them. So as I walk along, I have one hand on the pipe, the other hand is reaching in constantly to pull out seeds and drop it down the hole. And it's worked pretty well for me so far. It's not quite as fast as if you're planting them without this, but the uniformity is much better, and I'm assuming the yield will be better because you can get your proper distancing and put the seeds exactly where you want them. So I just wanted to share this little bit of this little garden hack with you of something that I've tried this year, and I'm hoping that this will make things a bit easier for the future, as well as to finish up for this year. So just wanted to show you that. I want to thank everybody who is supporting us, who's liking and subscribing. Hit the notifications bell for new videos, because we are trying to put videos out. I appreciate how this site has grown, and I want to see it continue to grow. I'm not an expert in anything, but what I am doing, I'm just sharing with you. You can take it or leave it if you think it's a good thing or not, and we'll continue to live out in the country without having to be millionaires. One other little point that I do want to make with this is, with the heavy clay soil, if you don't have it, it might not be a problem. If you push the tip down in almost too much, it tends to clog the opening at the bottom, and then the seed doesn't fall through. So when you're walking along, you kind of want to just keep it either just touching or off the ground, maybe an inch or half inch, whatever, so the dirt doesn't get up in there and clog it. If you have lighter soil, probably wouldn't be a problem, but with my heavy clay soil, it did a few times. I had to stop, clean it out, pull the seeds out, start over, things like that. So I didn't want I want to let you know that, so that you wouldn't have that problem either. So at any rate, again, thank you for watching, and we'll come back to you with another video when there's more to report.